Okay, now we're going to tackle the cosine double angle identity. We know that because of this right here. That says 2 theta indicating the double angle, right? Well, remember cosine 2 theta, there are 3 identities. There's cosine squared, subtract sine squared. There's 2 cosine squared theta, subtract 1. And then finally, 1 subtract 2 sine squared theta. The cool thing about this identity is that you only need possibly one piece of information to solve. So look at what they give us for this first one. They give us cosine. So out of these 3 identities, which one makes the most sense? The identity that only has cosine in it. So we're going to use that identity. Also we're in the third quadrant, right, between 180 degrees and 270. So when you double this angle, you could end up here or possibly there. So the end product, cosine's positive here, but negative here. So we'll just have to figure out as we plug in this information. So there's the identity. Well, let me do this. There's the identity. Cosine 2 theta is equal to 2 times cosine squared theta, subtract 1. And instead of cosine squared theta, we can plug this in, and that's what we will square. So 2 times cosine theta is negative 3/5, so negative 3/5 squared. Make sure you're using parentheses if you're using a calculator. If you're not using parentheses, you're going to probably end up with the wrong answer. Subtract 1. Well, remember, when you square a fraction, if the square is on the outside of the parentheses, you square both the numerator and the denominator. So negative 3 squared is positive 9. 5 squared is 25. So then look at what we have. We have 2 times 9 25ths, and the subtract 1, well, I can rewrite 1 as 25 over 25. 2 times 9 is 18. 18 subtract 25 is negative 7. So we end up with cosine of 2 theta is negative 7/25. So what that means, when you double this angle that was in the third quadrant, it ended back up there in that second quadrant. And cosine is negative in the second quadrant. All right, I'm going to cover all this stuff up, and then we're going to move on to the next one. So for number 30, the information, we still are trying to find cosine double angle, but look at what they give us this time. They give us sine only. So we use this version of the cosine double angle identity. And we're in the first quadrant between 0 and 90 degrees. First quadrant, that means sine will be positive. And we know it's positive because right there it tells us it's positive 4/5. So we're going to plug, so the identity is 1 subtract 2 sine squared theta. And we plug the information in. Cosine 2 theta is equal to 1 subtract 2 times 4/5 squared. 4 squared is 16. 5 squared is 25. And we're going to rewrite 1 as 25 over 25. And then 2 times 16 is 32. So we've got 25 subtract 25 25ths, subtract 32 25ths. And we get cosine 2 theta. So look at, never mind, I was going to go on a different tangent. I'm going to go ahead and end that one right here. Most of the time, you're probably going to select one of these two. There'd be no need to really use this one, but the cool thing about this one right here, when you're simplifying identities later, if you had an identity where you were having to where you had to verify. If you saw cosine squared subtract sine squared, you could just rewrite it as cosine 2 theta. So that's how that one will be used possibly later. All right, that's it for this one.